Welcome to the Perfect Place to Put a Practice podcast by Scott McDonald and DrDemographics.com, the best source of demographic, psychographic, and marketing information for professionals.
Hello, this is Scott McDonald of Dr. Demographics, and I'm going to pass along a couple of theories that might be interesting for you. Now, keep in mind, I am a college professor, so we kind of go on to these flights of fancy regarding theories. And, I ran across these and was reviewing them, and I thought they might be interesting, particularly for those of you who are thinking about starting up a new practice, moving to a new location, or capturing a different audience than you may have had so far. We call this the two-step theory. Even though it sounds like a bad joke, that's really what it's called. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I did an episode on two theories that are really important to people trying to figure out where to go to practice. The first is the framing theory. The other is agenda setting. In essence, you cannot tell people what to think. You can, however, influence them about what to think about. And with that in mind, I just would say, hey, go back. It's a very good episode. But today, the two-step theory is the communications theory that is particularly helpful for those of you who are doing a startup. Now, you may recall what I said about those theories. They're public relations theories, by the way, and are extremely helpful in doing what they call positioning your practice. Not everybody wants the same thing, and they certainly don't want to hear it in the same way. But these two theories, framing and agenda setting, are particularly helpful to figure out what the people who are out there want to hear and know about you. It's very helpful if you're going to be doing a website, publicity materials, writing things about your practice. And these two theories are extremely helpful. Now, you can, by the way, go to Google and look them up, framing theory and agenda setting, and I think it would be valuable. The same thing is true about the two-step theory that I'm talking about today. So ultimately, you can't really tell people, no, don't think about this or only think about that. Really, what you're trying to do is get ahead of the curve to get a positive inducement for people to seek your care. If everybody was the same reasons to come in might exist. So, for instance, a lot of people have told me over the years, well, the persons that offer the least expensive procedures and have the perception of being the cheap guys, they're going to get the business. But I'm not sure that's really I think that's true. Ultimately, you see, people want to receive the benefits that they perceive as most important. And sometimes that means that you have greater education or they're offering services that might not be offered otherwise. That's why this is so helpful. Now, this two-step theory, I need to explain just a little bit. It's a theory of communications and public relations that really says the way that you get people to do things is by using an expert. Literally, the two steps that they mentioned, one of the important ones is to have a credible, a believable expert to say, yes, this is a good idea. Now, that has revealed something in the research that if you really want people to trust you, to come to your practice, to love what you do, you need to be out front. It's not enough to simply say, oh, well, here's a brochure or here's some clever copy that I've got on my website. Your personal credibility is by far the most important and credible tool you have to get people on your side. Now, they refer to those experts as opinion leaders. I don't know when the last time you considered getting someone on your side who is an opinion leader. Maybe it's a politician or a celebrity. Maybe it's a scientist. Maybe there are theories that are out there that exist within the science that will get people to say, yes, that's what I want. Well, the theory certainly backs those things up. Now, the two-step flow model stands in contrast to the hypodermic needle model. Now, the hypodermic needle model was a long time ago that there was the idea that you could take knowledge and force feed it to the public. And they would then say, oh, the arguments are so persuasive, I definitely want them. But the hypodermic needle model proved to be ineffective compared to the two-step model, where you have an expert who also is going to present your argument, the reason why people should seek your care. And that's why the hypodermic needle model has gone out of style. Ultimately, rather than try to make your case with your skills and your talents, may or may not be very effective. I'm not saying it's a bad idea to say I'm better than the next guy, but you also know that the medical practice and the dental practice acts suggest that you cannot claim superiority in service. Because of that, the two-step model became increasingly popular by bringing in another third party who would say what you're offering is of significant benefit. Now, you might notice, by the way, how many vitamin supplements and medications rely upon experts for their credibility. That is right in alignment with what we're talking about here. The two-step flow model stands ultimately in a test of all communications theories. Does it work? And the answer is, it certainly does. But let's assume that you kind of mess up. Let's assume that you've given your credibility over to these experts, but it hasn't been very persuasive. That happened with the COVID-19 vaccines that came in. They were not very persuasive, and in fact, there's been a lot of counter arguments. And these counter arguments have made the public leery about accepting at face value, prima facie evidence, that these things are as effective as they might be. There is a way to overcome that, and they call it apologia. Now, apologia is how you turn around people's opinion of you and the things that you are in favor of. Apologia is well worth looking up as well. But it's a kind of theory that admits, I don't have all the facts, I have many facts, and you ought to believe me because I'm trying to communicate the truth to you. That is why it is proving to be one of the theories that has had kind of a second life within the media. It happens that sometimes people have to admit, wisely, that they didn't have all the answers when they made the original estimations that they gave to the public. That's why people are learning how to apologize and apologize effectively. If you look up at the Google search, the apologia steps are listed, and they can be extremely persuasive in getting people to believe you. Now, ultimately, I believe that you'd be wise to consider some of these communications arguments because they are proving to be very effective. They aren't perfect. No communications with humans ever is. And that is one of the things that makes apologia so persuasive. You're not trying to say, I never make mistakes. I knew everything up front. I can only stand behind the latest theories and present the facts about my practice and my methods to get people to come in the door. Now, ultimately, some people need to change their brand. They've made statements and they've done foolish things. They aren't able to turn around public opinion unless this happens. I'm saying this having looked at a million case studies. Well, all right, that's an exaggeration. Many case studies in getting public opinion to be on your side. And I will say, being honest and upfront is by far one of the most important strategies that you can have. If you would like to get an analysis of your marketing message or what could be effective with the population that surrounds your practice, your patient base, in other words, I'm going to recommend you give us a call at 800-849-0499. Dr. Demographics has a range of services. The marketing report is just exceptional in getting background information on what people need and want to hear. You can actually get a sample of the report and see all of the attachments and all of the methodology that will work for you. I should also say there are a lot of people who need a little help. They have some personnel conflicts, referral-based problems that need to be repaired, apologia services, and partnership negotiations. We offer all of those at Dr. Demographics. In that way, we're an application company of communications theories and agreements. We do have telephone consultation times available. We'd be happy to hear about what your particular situation is. Let's imagine you have done some really bad things with staff or referral base or, I don't know, the people in your area and need to turn that around. Dr. Demographics is here to help you. Now, we have doctor practice, image restoration, and rehabilitation services, but they're highly individualized. And if I sent you a sample of it, it would really be somebody else's story. And that's why I'm being a little cagey here. But if things have gone off the rails, Dr. Demographics can help you. And just keep in mind, the sooner it does, the better. Now, on one last personal note, you know that I am a demographer. People and the increase of people is kind of important to me. Last weekend, we welcomed to our family another granddaughter. We're thrilled to have her. Just about 2 weeks before that, we welcomed to our family another little boy. Oliver Roan Jeffries, Serafina Liu, and most recently, Lucy McDonald. I wanted to say this. I'm grateful to all the community support we have received in welcoming these new additions to our family. I now have 11 grandkids, which in Utah is almost enough to be a legitimate Utahn. Again, thank you very much. Give us a call if we can help you with any of those image or communications questions you might have. And thank you so much for watching.